Hey y'all, and welcome to Wine Therapy. This is Jay Hendo. This is Donna to my Lizette.
Yo.
As we do what we do.
What's going on, y'all?
Hey, we're tuning in a little later at night tonight, so I hope, people tune in and see what's cracking lacking.
Mm-hmm.
But tonight we're going to be talking about a few things. Is vulnerability from a man important in a relationship? Is it or is it not important?
Yes, it's important. It's absolutely important. It's not just important for him to be vulnerable. She has to be vulnerable.
We're not talking about her, though. That's the problem. We're not talking about a woman. Don't even matter. We're not even talking about a woman right now.
You know why it's important for her to be, why we have to talk about her?
Why?
Because if she's not, you're not going to be.
No, it don't work that way. It ain't she's happy. It ain't she's happy. See, there we go again.
If
a woman happy, her happiness is my happiness.
Did I say that?
Happy wife, happy life.
Is that what I said? Is that what I said?
That's kind of like what you said.
No.
It clearly states is vulnerability from a man important relationship. This is why I say man. This is why I say man, because women are nurturers. They are already particularly vulnerable in a relationship. That's pretty much what it is. And women that are not particularly vulnerable in a relationship is probably the one with the big mouths.
No, that's not true.
It's very true.
That is so not true. That is actually a very judgmental statement.
How was it judgmental?
Because you're making a conjecture, a strong statement about women that is based not on fact but opinion.
It's not opinion. Women are particularly the nurturers in a relationship, so they're particularly vulnerable, more quick to be vulnerable in a relationship than a man.
Vulnerable. I told you.
Hey, I'm black as hell when I'm just like, hey,
I told you.
I'm gonna fix a lot, y'all. But hey, so
that is so funny. Do you know this is the second time that's happened in a show?
The second time this is a broke ass light. It's cheap as hell.
So y'all,
you need to go back on.
You have the same light.
No, I don't.
You do. You have two lights. You bought
that shit is cheap than a biatch. That's cheap than a biatch. Okay. So that's what I said. So women are natural nurturers. They are particularly more vulnerable in a relationship. They cater in a relationship for a man because we're leaders and we're kings, at least some of us, because a lot of us not. It's hard to get that vulnerability because men don't show a sensitive side. That's my point. That's why I asked the question, is vulnerability from a man important in a relationship? Because we don't come off the top sharing secrets and being all soft and stuff like that. That stuff has to build because we're kings, we're leaders. We don't show a sign of weakness. Well, that's why men don't get me started negative, because I don't think men, when they meet women, don't supposed to be soft like, hey, baby, who do.
No. Okay, this is what I'm saying. Okay. I'm going to answer your question and say, yes, it is important for a man to be vulnerable in a relationship. However, your statement about women already being the nurturers and all of that stuff, that has nothing to do. She could be a nurturer and still not be vulnerable with you, because when you're vulnerable with somebody, you're letting them into a different space. You're letting them in deeper. And she can still treat you at arm's length and still not share those deep things with you and still nurture you.
True, false. Mainly false.
The first word you said. What was the first word you said?
Mainly false. Anyway, if you're nurturing, you don't mean you share all the secrets, but my point is women are natural nurturers. Men don't come off that way right off the bat.
I agree.
It takes a lot of trust, because some women do have the tendency to throw a man being vulnerable back in their face. So sharing secrets such as like being call a dude soft. Oh, you this, oh, you that, throwing shit back in their face they told you about it. So let's say, for example, a man cried at a funeral and a woman be like, oh, your soft ass cried at this funeral. Like, if you break a man's vulnerability, you'll never get it back. It's very unlikely that you'll get it back. And let me tell you something else is key. They say a lot of men cheat. A lot of men that cheat, those men are not vulnerable in that relationship.
You know what? I think that's like one of the top 4 facts.
I'm saying other things in that though, but okay.
You say a lot of stuff, but that right there is hidden. I think, and say it again, I think it's worth repeating.
A man that is not vulnerable is more likely to cheat in a relationship. So a lot of men are not vulnerable in these relationships.
Okay, why is that? Why is he more likely to cheat?
because he hasn't built that intimacy. Like you think that you're very intimate, like close with a woman, he's sharing all these secrets, etc. You gotta think, how often does a man communicate with you?
Mm-hmm.
How often does he tell you about his day?
Mm-hmm.
How often does he tell you about his secrets? How often
Mm-hmm.
does he share everything with you?
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, I'm speaking from experience.
Okay.
I was in a relationship once
Mm-hmm.
where I was vulnerable with a woman.
Mm-hmm.
I shared everything and it backfired on me.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't share everything with your significant other, you're gonna find somebody else to share with.
Okay.
That's just plain raw and uncut.
Mm-hmm.
Men need an outlet too. We might not act like we do, and we're not gonna tell, I need somebody to talk to. It's gonna naturally happen. Mm-hmm. Somebody's gonna talk to us. Mm-hmm. We're not gonna be like bitches and be like, man. So once a woman closes that outlet with a man typically doesn't come back. It's hard to come back in seconds because he's already been scolded. And this is primarily men that are particularly your kings.
So I actually agree with this statement, but I have a question. Is that more so ego though? Like, and pride?
It's not an ego and pride thing. For a man to open up, it takes a lot to just come out of his shell and just open up. So when he open up to a woman, that's to a woman's advantage. That dude is 99% loyal to you, and this is my opinion, or 90%. And some man got problems. They would stick their wee-wee and everything.
Oh, okay.
So, but no, once he opens up that tunnel, he's vulnerable to you. He's letting you know everything. So women should take advantage of that in a way where, damn, he's being open to me, he's communicating with me. Always keep that open communication, because if you got one man that's vulnerable to you, it's less likely you have communication problems.
Yes, I do agree with that. So I feel like some women weaponize a man's vulnerability. So when he shares that secret with you, they throw it back in your face, or they, use it to manipulate men as well. But what they don't realize is that if he's taking the time to be vulnerable with you, let you in, talk to you about his day, tell you his deepest, darkest secrets, share with you his insecurities, then that's a positive. Like, his insecurity isn't a negative. The fact that he's communicating that to you, that's the positive. But women see it as like a weakness for a man. And that's a no. That's no bueno, ladies. No
that's the problem. When a man, trust me, I've met ladies where I'm like, why the fuck they gotta act so hardcore? Why they gotta act like they so hard to handle? It's hard to be vulnerable to a woman that's give you competition. You're not gonna be vulnerable to a woman that's give you competition, because you got competition out there in the street when you leave your house. You got competition with others. You can't have competition at home. A man's not gonna be vulnerable with a woman that's giving him competition under his own roof. You're gonna have problems. So when the man is vulnerable to you, he's aiming for a deeper connection. If you don't allow a deeper connection to hit, he's gonna hit it somewhere else. And I know it's funny, but it's for real. Because we're always say, man cheat, man this, blah 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 blah. Well, how about you take a look at yourself? Because if you think about it, if your man has tried to open up to you in all occasions and you rejected him like the Kid Mutombo, then it's a wrap. Because me, man, not really coming around for a second time to be vulnerable. It's hard to open up. You got to open up. That door is like those bank doors, the bolts. When the man's vulnerable to you and he closes that door, it's a bolt to get that motherfucker to open back up, because there's no guarantee that he's going to be vulnerable a second time around with that woman. That's important. If you got a man that's vulnerable to you, you likely have a man that's loyal to you.
All right. So my question is, and I agree with a lot of what you're saying, but I want you see that comment right there?
Donna. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anyway.
Thanks, Drake. Okay. So I think that some men are vulnerable with the wrong women, and they know this. They see red flags in the beginning, but yet they still take that step, knowing that something ain't right about this, but they still decide to open up with these women, right? So why do that knowing that it's the wrong person versus giving that other person a second chance? Because this is my thing. Not everybody deserves like that second chance, but what if it was a genuine, like, people grow, people mature, they learn a lesson, you know what I'm saying? Like, they change. So why risk it with another person who's going to use that against you versus trying one more time with somebody that you've done this with before?
No, what I say is that kings don't give that vulnerability to the same woman twice. It's hard. They open that door back up. And actually, when you go to next, men are more careful until who they dealing with. They're more careful who they open up that door to when they're being vulnerable. They're real observant. You learn from your past. So yeah, some men open up the door, the vulnerability to the wrong women, because some women actually, there could be narcissists too. And they could be a certain way in the beginning, had a man open the door, and then someone's totally different. But the power of men, let's not get off topic, I'm not talking about women. The power of men is that the more you try to get a man to be vulnerable, because women are typically more vulnerable than men. They're more sensitive than men. Now, these days, you got a lot of sensitive men out here. Don't get me wrong. But a real man, you got to get that. You got to have that power to make him vulnerable, to make him trust, because he's going to get that deeper connection. He's going to share with you his fears, his ambitions, his insecurities. He's going to communicate his needs, because most men, off the top, they're not telling you what they need. You know what I'm saying? A real man is not telling you off the top, like, yeah, I need this, I need that. They're not even putting down. If it's a real connection between a king and a queen, real man, real woman, the connection is going to come genuinely, and he's going to reveal his needs later. A man doesn't mean the woman to reveal his needs. I need this, need that. Top is a definition of some type of bitch. And don't get it wrong. It sounds cruel, but you can't go in a situation, I need this, need that, because here's the thing, man. You are the protector of women. You're the providers of women. You can't go in and tell them what you need. You, as a man, we're hunters, so we should be able to sense that the woman is providing what we need instead of asking them about observations. Use your senses and try to realize. You can see how a woman carry herself. Be like, walk into a woman's house, listen to a woman talk, have a conversation with a woman, ask questions, etc. She'll tell you what she's about. She'll make comments. And everything. She lets you know she's a judgmental woman. She lets you know she's a supportive woman. She lets you know she's a secure woman. She lets you know she's an insecure woman. Just listen to her talk. Your needs come from a conversation. You don't even have to provide. And later on down the line, when you like vulnerable with her, you open up, then you can discuss needs when y'all reach that point, not in the beginning.
So men are, like you said, women are more sensitive. I disagree with that. I just think that men are not as, it takes more for you all to tap into your emotions. And part of being vulnerable is the emotional part of it. So she has to bring that out of you. So you mentioned trust. So you have to feel comfortable and she has to build that trust with you in order for you to do that, to bring out that emotional side.
But women are still more sensitive than men typically. We don't show no sensitivity in the beginning, and that's a king trait. In the art of war, you're not sensitive. It's a man thing.
Is this a war that we're trying to connect? It's
leading. It's leading. When you're leading, you can't be all sensitive and shit. You can't protect your woman being sensitive. Oh, baby, we can't do this. You got to be smart as a man. You got to step up and lead. You got to show your masculinity. And fuck that. Everybody's saying, oh, you got a feminist. No, fuck that. There's no feminist side. You and your woman have your communication the way you have the communication. But if you're more sensitive than your woman as a man, that may be a problem.
I agree with that. Can we change that from art of war to art of leadership?
No, I like the art of war. This is what it is. Because when you leave your house, you're not guaranteed to make in that door every day. Because there's violence. You can probably have kids that go outside this door every day. People dying every day. It's the art of war, because in this life, the way the world is, you're not guaranteed to come back. So you're going to do everything you can and climb obstacles, to get away from whatever. You never know what you may deal with. So I say the art of war, and I guess you could say the art of leadership as well, but it's also the art of war, because you might have to protect your significant other. You might have to take your significant other, family, whatever. It's the art of war. This is the world we live in. It is the art of war.
I don't know. When I hear art of war, we're not at war with each other in a relationship. That's why I say art of leadership.
No, I'm saying the art of war. I'm not talking about a relationship. In the art of war, you have to protect, because this world, you have to lead spiritually first. That's part of art of war, because there's a spiritual war going on. So you lead spiritually, and you have to protect. It's written.
Yeah. So I think that, and I hate to say this, but you are right about a few things.
I hate to say this. What the hell? That's fucking goddamn. I hate to say this.
You're gonna hang it over my head, but no, for real. So you are right about a few things, right? So women are naturally prone to being like more vulnerable, right? So dang, you made me lose my thought. So it's the women that have to have the patience though for him to express and open up. And I think a lot of women don't have that patience, but they are missing out on a good man sometimes because of those things. But the women have a responsibility, I think, to nurture that out of him.
I agree.
Ooh.
But damn, I said I agree. Damn. But Patience. I wrote that down. You said patience, underline patience.
You wrote it really big.
So I had to underline patience because here's the thing: you gotta have patience because men, we're macho, and we kind of have a side, and we're not gonna play that card, right? We're gonna fucking keep that card. We're gonna keep it in our hand because you gotta watch the woman play. Sometimes men and sometimes women do this. They get excited and they play that big card. Women are more likely to play a big joker first. They get excited. Men, we keep that big joke in our hand. It's like the bitter end. So we like for sure, because you can't in this day and age really can't make mistakes. And you make mistakes, you learn from them, but you don't want to make the wrong mistakes because you could be paying for years. 18 years. But no, it's patience. Like if you have patience and you slowly bring out a man where you get him to communicate and everything, you can't force it out.
Right.
You can't force it out. But a man that's leading you spiritually is a man that you can eventually get him to become vulnerable, get him to share his secrets. Not even secrets, just like his needs and his fears and stuff.
Yeah.
It make you he'll have you, if you listen to him, he'll feel closer and he wants to reveal more.
Yeah.
If you're insecure, a man will not be vulnerable to you.
I actually agree with that. So you're doing something right when he does open up to you. You know what I mean? Like, so whatever you're doing when he finally does that, what you're doing, that you're doing something right, keep doing that thing, right? Mm-hmm. But I also think that women, they expect you all's vulnerability to look like ours. And that's just not the case. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you may be in a vulnerable state in the relationship, but that doesn't mean that you're going to cry about something, or, you know what I mean? They expect it to look the same way. And we're just wired different. Like you said, we're more sensitive and you all lack being in touch with your emotions. So it's not going to look the same.
I'll tell you what's the issue though.
What?
A lot of women will act like they demonstrate patience with a man, but be more concerned about what they got going in their life. So here's the thing. I've met women where I've showed maybe partial vulnerability to see what I can get back in return. There's absolutely nothing. That's when you connect with gold diggers. Or you connect with women that need, and they want. They're not going to give. They're not going to give that same energy. There's no reciprocating energy. So like they can have patience, but their patience is only like to justify their own well-being, not actually giving to the man. And some men see that and like, shit, I ain't fucking with this shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, but I do say one thing. A man is vulnerable to women in his past. He takes longer to open up and be vulnerable to women in the future.
Absolutely. And that's where that patience comes in with the woman. Like they all of a sudden, like, I'm done, I'm cutting it off, it's whatever. And I think the vulnerability, how I think we talked about this like in a conversation the other day about how people say you should marry a man, women should marry a man who loves her more. And I think people got it twisted. It's not about a man that loves you more, but a man who is being truly vulnerable with you. Like that's like top tier right there.
That's rare.
But that's sad that's rare. So I think that's a sad thing.
What is rare that a man is vulnerable?
Yeah.
Because women, here's the thing, you have right now today, you have women that's like more concerned with the monetary things. And money is like everything. He buys this, buys that. Like women don't care about the emotional connection or the emotional needs. Some of the emotional needs is comes from money. It comes from money. And men, you gotta sit and like you heard me. I don't know. You're a woman, so men out there that's watching, you ever meet a woman and the first thing that she wants is like money. She asks for money eventually before you have a connection. And she don't really want to like extend that conversation. She wants like a donation or some type of monetary thing or whatever.
Donation.
Whatever they want. I'm being nice by saying donation.
Oh, okay.
So they want money. And that's why men are not vulnerable right away, because women are users. Some women are users. They use the fuck out of you. So you got to be careful on who you open up to, because women can flip and change. I mean, there are women out here that want the time is up. They want babies. They want money. They want this guy got money, going on trips. And some men fuck it up for themselves because their communication is monetary. They speak money. They show cars. They don't have a personality. Say their personality is money. he's not going to be vulnerable to you. He's being vulnerable to you as far as his pockets.
I'm a little no. I get what you're saying, and some of what you're saying I definitely agree with, but no, I don't think a lot of women are all about the money. I just don't agree with that.
No, because the society taught women to be independent, not depend on man. They can do it all by themselves. So they're not. But there are a lot of women out here now that that ain't all about money. I'm not about money, and one who's not about money are all about OnlyFans. So they got other ways of getting the income that I don't need that about. Society in the United States, and not all women in the United States in this country, they have demonstrated to women that you don't need a man. You can do everything by yourself. Society is a lie because, and like I say, I'm gonna say it again. In the art of war, God built man to lead and to protect you. If you got a family, to protect you and the family. You can't do it yourself. Women are not built to do any of that shit, to protect anything. I don't care what you could fight, what you could do, fucking Tomb Raider, whatever movie you saw. That shit is action, Catwoman, all that shit. Men were built to protect you. But society here has taught women otherwise because on another note, in another conversation, it's easier to overtake from a woman than it is to overtake from a man. You have a man walking in the house back and forth. It's less likely motherfuckers will come over there and try to overtake and do something. She's protecting the house.
Yeah.
You see a woman in the house and she's all alone. There, a man heightened his senses and his chances of entering our home are greater than if a man was present.
Yeah. So this is the thing. So I think, women, and I hate to use this word, but like in different feminist movements, I think it's just taken out of context. Well, women took it out of context by saying, I don't need a man for this. I don't need a man for that. Like you can do things, you can achieve great things, but at the end of the day, man and woman was created for a reason. It wasn't woman and woman. It wasn't man and man. Man and woman was created for a reason. They each serve a specific purpose. And so by you saying you can do everything by yourself and I'm independent and I don't need a man for that, well, that's not true. That's absolutely not true. You need a man in order to have a baby. You know what I'm saying? You need a man, like you said, for certain situations. So I think women took it out of context, and that's how the feminist aspects came up. Like you could be pro-woman, but not a feminist.
This is my thing. I write this. I heard this in a podcast. I wish I could quote the podcast I heard it from. Women can submit to their boss or CEO and do all these righteous things with man, but in the home, when they're around man, they won't do the same. And that job or career that they hold is not guaranteed in the world we live in today because you can be fired. But being loyal to your man who can lead and gain wealth together. I always preach that. You can lead, help him, be a support. Because like you say, man and woman were built to be together. Be his good support, be his other brain, lead wealth-wise, and you can be your own bosses, but you can go to work, you can follow orders from the boss. I'm gonna be honest at work. I follow partial fucking orders. I'm a fucking king. I do the fuck I want to do and follow the shit when it's necessary. And if people are watching this from work and find a problem with that, I don't give a shit because I rock it my way because I rock it how I've been told. I rock it the way I wake up and pray in the morning and what I've been told.
No, I'm listening. Keep going.
No, you go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, just because you're a king doesn't mean you don't listen to nobody. That you ain't got to listen to nobody.
Every king has everybody's rules.
Kings have advisors. Kings.
I ain't saying for a woman. I'm saying I'm basically saying a woman that goes to work and listen to her boss, gives orders. That's not her man, but she can do it to get saved. But give her man less the respect when she come home.
I get that, but I don't think that's an accurate comparison. You know what I mean? Because, and I get where they're going with this, right? So she should listen to and respect her man because she has a carrot at work, like, and that carrot is monetary, right? She had her survival. I don't want to say survival, but her living is based off of that, right? But at the same time, you should listen to and respect what your husband is saying because that's your home. That's your yeah, you know what I mean? So, but I just don't think that comparison is accurate. Like,
it's a very accurate comparison because it's still a man.
It's a reach,
but it's not a reach.
It is.
If you, and I'm not saying that a man should give you rules and you follow it, though you should give that man that same respect. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Respect, period. So if you can do that, and this for your boss at home, get that respect. And sometimes you might tell your boss off. Me, I fucking speak my mind. If I got something to say, I don't hold back. I let it be known, let it be said. I can be very sincere, And if I don't agree with shit, I'm gonna speak my mind, because to me, I'm a man. God didn't put me here for other people to belittle me. I have a blueprint on this earth.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes me to be vulnerable to the right person. Have I made mistakes? Yes. I've been a reason for my own mistakes? Yes, I have. So it's a choice you make, but it doesn't define who I am. That's why that's the next topic we go through later. When you find out about judgmental people,
mm-hmm.
they can't judge on mistakes. But I'm not gonna go there yet.
Yes, don't go there yet, especially because I have a point. So as blunt as you are, as to the point you are, as direct as you are, I think that when you're being vulnerable with people, you curb that bluntness. Like, you're still going to say what's on your mind. You're still going to be direct, but you take into consideration who's on the receiving end of those words.
Not really. To a certain extent, I do.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to speak my mind.
Absolutely.
Because that is who I am.
Yeah.
I think the way the delivery come across may be a little different. My delivery might be different.
Absolutely. Because sometimes it's not always what you say, it's how you say it.
Well, sometimes people need to hear it a certain way. They don't hear it the right way the first time. You said a different way the next time you said it. But so when you're vulnerable, you're honest, you break down walls, that eliminates the potential for miscommunication when you're vulnerable. And I know that I said it doesn't matter if a woman is vulnerable or not, because I just said women are particularly present themselves as vulnerable in relationship, they nurturers. Mm-hmm. The thing is, we got to get men to come over, because I don't have no stats to prove this. I would say that more men are unfaithful than women. I think that there are a lot of women out here that are honestly looking to settle down in relationships than there are men, especially today. I think that the situations, there are less kings out here, because some men just like, they're looking for women to take care of them. They're looking for them women to take them out. And that's one thing that women got to run away from. You meet a guy, he's supposed to take you out somewhere, name it. Now, women, you're not going to Roof fucking Chris. I don't think it's a place to take you. For a woman that's interested in a man, and a man offer you, let's say, let's go to Starbucks and talk, whatever. If you're truly interested, that is a good place to go, where you can have one-on-one time to communicate. And if you connect, the sky's the limit. Mm-hmm. That's what the thing is. That's why I do differently. Like back in the day, I think men took women out to dinner. Mm-hmm. And I'm not just, that's not the route I take. We're not going to dinner. We're going to do somewhere where we can communicate, talk one-on-one, develop something. So we go out there. No free meals. Wow. You might get free coffee, croissants, maybe ice cream, but we're just not doing the full meal, because I can't talk with my mouth full. It's just so a more private setting. You can breakfast maybe. Yeah.
So, okay, I got to back up to the cheating thing that you said. So this is my theory, and I just came up with it right now. Okay. Because you said more men cheat than women. Is that what you said? Or are unfaithful?
Or more men are more faithful.
All right. So here we go. Women are more prone to cheat emotionally. Okay. Men are more prone to cheat physically. However, if a man cheats emotionally, there's rarely the opportunity for reconciliation, because he gave his emotions and opened up to somebody else. Because for you all, the physical, the sexual part is nothing. But if you've opened up emotionally, that repair with that relationship, it ain't happening. And that's my theory. Why?
Because he was not vulnerable with that woman.
Exactly.
But I like Natalie said, going back, margaritas, that's the thing too, going out for drinks. And hopefully the woman ain't drunk, or he's not drunk, because that can go in bad.
Absolutely.
But when a man talks to the woman and connects emotionally, that is dangerous. Mm-hmm. So some people will see like he going with this to next, and he might be looking like he's going out of one situation to the next, but you don't know like the in depths of what happened.
Right.
And vulnerable, if you're never vulnerable with a woman, or you were vulnerable with a woman, she stepped on your shit, you can never go back. Here's the thing: if you're vulnerable with a woman and she steps all over you, like, I'm gonna get this. I wrote this down because I want to bring this up.
Okay. Listen.
Shit. Hold on a second. Let me find it. So I wrote this down for myself. So a lot of people would be in my past, right? People tell me that I'm all talk. So when I meet people, I be this nice person, and then I notice certain things about people that turns me off, and I'm less likely to do things. And some people are like, you like to talk, you like to suggest this, you like to suggest that. I don't have that connection with you, so now I feel like a fucking donor. I don't have that vulnerable side to me. Like, I can open up partially. I'm not open up full. And once I open up and I see like, oh, this might be some bullshit, I'm gonna close. And a lot of things I said I was going to do, I don't feel that connection. So we're not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's important for women. I don't give a fuck what people say. Women can say they're single. I don't need this. I can do all that. If you got a man that's vulnerable on your side, you have a man that's going to be loyal and give you everything that you need.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this. So what signs or what is it that you see or look for in a woman that makes you feel like you can begin to open up or can be vulnerable with them?
The woman that's secure in herself helps out a lot. But a woman that's not insecure, like where you been, who is that, blah, 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 all this shit. A woman that goes to, like, for example, social media. Why you like this? Why you like that? It's like, and when you know you're genuinely not out there on social media on bullshit, but you're getting the heat, you're less likely to open up about certain things. To me, if I'm vulnerable, I like to tell my whole book. I like to tell you who tried to talk to me today, how crusty your toes look. I'm gonna tell you everything.
Oh, jeez.
I'm gonna tell you everything. But if you like all the bitches I was trying to talk to, I'm like, damn, I can't tell her about my day. I can't tell her about this person or this person. So you're less likely. You start to close again. You open up, that door starts to close. Like, fuck it. You don't want to deal with certain headaches, so you're less likely to reveal certain information. So what we look for is a woman that like can listen, personality that can listen, and just not judgmental.
All right, I have a question for you.
What's that?
You ready? Okay, this first part, you don't have to, I don't want you to say it. Okay, I just want you to think about it. I want you to think about your deepest, darkest secret. Okay, you got it? One of them.
I'm trying to think of them.
Yeah, okay. All right, how many women have you told that secret to?
Maybe a few.
Okay, interesting.
I just started being more open, private lately than I've ever been. Because I'm like, who the fuck? If you judge me, you judge me. I don't care. Like, I agree with my shit. I will tell you something. I meet a woman. I'd be like, look, I'm a hard worker. I have 3 kids. They're about 3 different mamas. I don't have baby mama drama. They're fucking excellent moms. Kids are well taken care of. I provide. I save for me. I've got time to play, and I travel. The only hard thing for me is that the situation I'm in next is going to have to be the situation, because I made my life this way. I'm not blaming anybody else. It's got to be the connection. I'm not hoping it's the right one, but it's got to be the right connection, the right this, right that, because I want to be sure. It's just like, to me and myself, because I don't give a fuck what other people think. To me, I look at my situation, I'm like, damn, I should have made better decisions. 3 kids. I love my kids, love my babies, and love them dearly. But damn, I don't have my kids in the household. As a man, and I'm opening this shit up on a live podcast, but as a man, that's hard to walk around and there's no daddy. I had to pick my kids up for to hear daddy. So me being a mature man I am today, if I could take it back some years, I'm like, shit, like it'd be different. Different situations if I have this brain I have today. Now, today, my situation is what it is. So guess what I do? That's the thing. Grind. Work. I save. My kids need something. There you go. Now, I'm not rich enough like that. Blessed by the Most High to be in this position I am today. Extremely blessed. I may go travel when I want to. I may go do whatever I want to do. But what I'm missing is probably being vulnerable. Is hard for me to be myself. It's hard for me to be vulnerable because I feel like I've been stepped on. And I'm not going to reveal why yet, but that I've been stepped on. So it's like hard for me to open up. So I come across like sometimes I don't give a fuck. And that's how I am. My attitude can be like that. I don't give a fuck. It's about me because I always put people before me.
You surely do.
Always. And I get trampled on. Like I got down, once I got one of the things, a little hurts. Like, goddamn, get the fuck off.
That hurt. Oh my gosh.
It was like,
okay, so this is just revealed to me. Well, just thought. So I think that, okay, so you said, Ben, I'm gonna use your word trampled on, right? So I think part of your vulnerability is allowing other people to do stuff for you. Like you always say, like you always put other people first. So when you finally are vulnerable with somebody, you will allow somebody to do stuff for you. We actually just talked about this a little bit.
I know it's true. So that's a problem. You know, men and women, you can detect this. And I know people probably detect this with me. People offer to do a lot of things to me, and I pretty much reject it. That's okay. It's hard for me to accept.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know when maybe I'm going to overcome it one day. It's kind of hard for me to accept because I can go do whatever for you, and I don't think twice.
Mm-hmm.
I go out my way and do whatever it is. Mm-hmm. But for me, I guess if I'm vulnerable, if I'm accepting everything you're doing, and I'm not, because I'm like, I don't want to feel like I owe anybody anything.
Yes.
And I don't want to like people to bring it back up and throw it in my face. So I do a lot of things for me. I'm not overworking, overdo it, but as long as I do it, I know it's getting done. Yeah. And I know that I don't owe anybody anything.
Yes. And so I think that like you will never ask somebody to do something for you. Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like you're not going to. So I think that when you achieve like a certain level of vulnerability with somebody, you'll be comfortable enough to say, can you pick me up some socks from Target while you out? Because you go do it yourself.
I go out and do it myself. You come back
and you go to Costco with all these socks.
I'm gonna go back. This is something wrong.
Yeah.
But like even last year, I would bring up my personal situation last year. Last year I was in like a deep, like very messed up state, probably the worst of my life, where thank God, you know, the Most High like brought me through. But I was at my last $10 last year because I went through a stuff where I had major surgery, trying to be great on a football field. My knee. It was like, I was like, oh no. My doctor said I was going to miss 6 months. I'm like, shit, 6 months. I know I wasn't getting paid, but I didn't know my injuries to the extent where I got to learn how to walk. I got to learn how to run. Like, God damn, I got to start all over and do shit. Like, all over. Like, I'm a baby. I got to learn how to walk. But being down to my last, and this is probably, I don't think this is good. It doesn't make me a king, but like I hold off using resources to the very, 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 very last. My last heartbeat is when I probably need something, because I will do a lot of things myself. I can be, no matter what, I'm gonna work and go get it. And if I pray and God tells me otherwise, I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, but I think it's not even like even just with working and going and get it. It's like even like with simple things.
I just like, I don't know. But it's bad. I ain't gonna lie. I do pray about that. And I don't know, eventually I can be that vulnerable dude. Like, I just like, I don't know. I think it's a lot to do with my past that I probably can openly admit that I will go do a lot of things on my own and not ask somebody to do nothing. But when you offer to do stuff for me, I do take that into consideration that it's thoughtful, even though I might not accept. Now, what I will do if I'm talking to somebody and motherfucker don't offer to cook, I talk to people where, oh, I do this, I do that, and I'm like, what the fuck? What do you do for me? When you gonna do the shit you said you're gonna do for me?
Yeah.
What you gonna do for me?
Yeah. So I think that like, okay, so people have to automatically just do something for you, right? Because you're not gonna ask, you're not gonna say what you need. You know what I'm saying? So they automatically do it. But I think that if they're consistent with it, you'll trust, and then I think you'll be more prone to ask because they've been consistently showing you those things.
You always gotta ask though, like with people today, like, what is your agenda? What is your agenda? And it's a situation I've been in where I thought the agenda was positive. Here's the thing, and this is where we go to the judgment of people. You look at me, and like I told you again, my 3 kids, 3 different baby moms. I was married and I was engaged to my other 2 kids' mom. That was me. I was trying to create longevity, and the longevity didn't happen. And certain situations that you're in, you think like, damn, like, she nice, she this, she that. And I'm like, damn, but she only wanted this. And I'm not going to go into details, but it's like, fuck, that was always a purpose. That's why now I'm like, fuck this. I'm treading carefully because I don't want to come across the fucking, let me tell you, I can't stand a fucking gold digger. I can't stand a woman that asks me for money and we have no connection.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't even developed connection. I had one day, this was the dating. I met this girl. And I'm not a fucking social media connection type person. It's like, oh, she wanted a favor. I'm like, well, what is your agenda? I asked, like, what's your agenda? I've come on quick, like, this thing, you're not the most finest motherfucker in the world, and you don't have the best personality in the world. There's other women out there. What is your purpose with me? She can ask the question. Guess fuck what? You're articulating yourself as a fucking gold digger because you think you're gonna get a reward out of me, but what is your purpose with me? Now I ask questions. That's me back then.
Yeah.
Didn't ask questions. Me right now, I ask questions.
Yeah.
I put shit out on Front Street, like,
Yeah.
And it might sound cocky. No, I'm just asking because I'm a king. I don't have time to fuck with little people trying to bring me down to a low level. I have a standard, and I'm trying to maintain.
Yeah.
And I want a woman that we can maintain each other's standard and grow together.
Yeah. So you know how like you were saying that women, you know, they looking for something. It's like the money and all this other stuff, right? So I was telling somebody that like you're so used to women always wanting, you know, this money, dinner, sperm, whatever it is, but all some people want is just you. So and that's the hard part. Like I'm like they're not looking for anything but you, but other people are looking for the materialistic things.
But how many women out here, they can say they're looking for that's you, that person, that. But how many, that's the thing.
I know a lot of women like that.
There's so many people, those women are smothered by women that say, oh, I want him, but I want this. He got to have this. Because let's go now. Women start creating a man. My man got to make this. Here's the thing. The women, this is why a lot of women are single. That's why a lot of women are going to be single. A lot of women don't look for the emotional support and blah, blah, blah. A lot of women look for this. If you ask women, like we said before, how much money you want your man to make? Women start putting this dollar figure. I want $75K to $100K or over $100K. And if you look at statistics, don't too many people in America make over $100K. Like I think I told you before, 17% of the people population. That's including men and women. So now, women are creating this fucking high standard. You 17% of the population. Now, let's say 8% is man. Let's say about 3% of that population is married. Now you got about 5% of man that makes over $100K.
But Jay Henny, what if she's saying that she wants? Okay, so it may be what she wants, right? But you never know. She may say something like, "Okay, I'll do this." But maybe she's saying that's what she wants because she's thinking about what she wants to build with this person. It may not necessarily be that she's a gold
money
digger.
The first thing? It ain't got to go to. She make her own money. My thing is this: women set a dollar amount, which eliminates what's available to you. Think about it. You got this big ass map. You start playing the computer screen. I want my man to make $100K. That fucking map is gonna fucking shrink severely small.
Yeah.
But guess what? For a man, I don't give a fuck how much bread a woman makes. I worry about if she's gonna be submissive to me, is she gonna do this or that, And guess what? My map is gonna be way larger than that map. That woman that wants a man to make $100K. Her shit's gonna be this small. My map's gonna be this big because salary is not a problem. I'm looking at more of an emotional connection where women have a tendency to put money and other things, baby mamas, and all that stuff on the plate. While men, we're looking for, if she's being submissive, how can we grow together?
And I don't think because I don't think a lot of men have the emotional intelligence to focus on that right now. So look, with the money piece of it, I think that especially if a woman is at a certain pay grade, she may put a pay grade or a higher dollar amount, salary amount on something because most men are intimidated by women who make more than them. That's number one. Number two,
most men.
Yeah, most men are intimidated by that.
Okay.
Do you agree or disagree?
Some men. I don't think it's most.
A lot of men. A little more than some.
What was number two?
Now I forgot. Dang it. Okay. I got it. So when women think about men in leadership and being providers, some people connect that with money. So they have to be able to provide. So that's why she's putting a dollar amount on it in that way.
But how do a man have to be able to provide but put a dollar amount? That's the thing. And you read the Bible. Let's get technical. Like men, like I said, we're leaders, we're kings. Some men are very handy where they can do things around the house that'll save you money.
Absolutely.
If you get to know somebody beyond a dollar amount, you can find the stuff out and make a decision then.
Yeah.
Whereas when you eliminate your options by putting that dollar amount out there, he doesn't make this much money. I'm not talking. Boom.
All right, I got a question. So she makes, and we're not even gonna go to the 6-figure piece. Okay. She makes $75,000. He makes $40,000. Is it fair? And I don't even want to ask this question because I know what she's gonna say.
No, go ahead. The people heard you now. You might as well finish the question now.
So is it fair that she puts the responsibility of paying everything, all the bills and the mortgage on him, even though she makes more?
This is what
that's how women think. Some women, not all women, think about providing.
A woman today, in today's world, in this society right now that we live in today, know that it's hard for a man to provide everything, but society with inflation and this current situation we got in, and with the collapse of the possible dollar, you're gonna have to stick and run together. That's why your better half, you find it, y'all grow together. Y'all make whatever works, whatever y'all find that works, y'all do what works. Don't depend on his and hers, because if you're growing together and you're married, what's his is yours, what's hers is his. It's the same thing.
How many men think like you nowadays?
That's quite a few of them.
You think so?
Well, no.
Yeah.
Absolutely
not. It's kind of like when we would like the stuff from Jay's Way, the stuff that we were talking about. People aren't mentally equipped or prepared to deal with stuff in the way that is coming down in the pipeline in the future, right? So most of these men aren't thinking the way you are right now, which is why you having this podcast is important, because it gets men to.
Well, the ones that listen, because some men this is the thing, and we have this thing. The man I had on here on my podcast on shows, we kind of like have similar minds. You have Marcus, you have Gerard. We're both men that know, like in this future, this world that we live in right now, that something's going on. Men have to step up even more today, because women are just not aware of what's going on. A lot of them, some women are, a lot of women not, and even men not. Men just continue to be bamboozled. So those men are thinking, I have to take care of her. Those brothers that's in the situation, their relationships, they're thinking, I have to protect. Now I know for a fact that they're doing things to protect their house, protect their kids, and doing stuff like they're doing above and beyond. I was just in Vegas with brothers, and I know that they're doing things to protect their families, and they're real big on, my wife. I have a friend, and I know you know this is. He's very vulnerable to his wife. He has never been vulnerable to no woman in his life. Got his connection with the Most High. That was very loyal to his wife. Couldn't wait to get home. Like, we on a plane. That motherfucker was off the plane first. He missed his family. That's hella dope. I give my brother all props. And I'm telling you like that, women, you open that connection for your man to be vulnerable to you. I've seen him do it. And I'm not gonna put my brother's name out there, but he's a faithful, loyal dude to his wife. And he's there. He's brought his wife. Man, I see him. That's the only woman I ever seen her be vulnerable to.
He loves her.
Loves her dearly. That's why I know that when a man breaks down those barriers, those walls, and is vulnerable and can talk to his wife on that level, or significant other on that level, there's a very, very high chance, I'm talking about 90% percentile, where he'll be loyal. And some women who don't believe it, or some women who don't know how to communicate and allow a man to be vulnerable to them. Yeah.
And so that's why I think that's what I was saying, like that misconception that marry a man who loves you more than he loves you. No, marry a man who is vulnerable with you, and that you've created that communication, that space for him to be vulnerable with you. That's what it is. That's literally what it is. And I think, because you said something, I think that some women, because a lot of us grew up in, well, I can't say that I did, but a lot of women grew up in households without men. They don't know what it means to be emotionally protected. So that they're not looking for that in a relationship. So that's why the go-to is the money. Like that's the go-to, because men should provide a safe space emotionally for women too. But because they didn't see that, they think provision is monetary. Ooh.
Yeah, it is. I get that. I wrote down this word by what you were saying, intimidation. So a man that you said earlier about a woman making more money than a man. So a man, and we said this on a podcast with Gerard, he stated this, a man that finds himself weak by a woman that makes more and he can't do nothing for her will be more emotionally abusive. Not necessarily, sometimes physically can lead to that, but emotional abuse. That's not a sign of a man that's a weak man, because he's intimidated by his woman. But if his woman is there helping uplift him, regardless of how much money is being made, you can make that man stronger and you can make that man vulnerable. But if you making more money and you're like throwing that card out there, like I make more money, then you kind of like push him away. He's not gonna be vulnerable to you. So any man is not vulnerable to a woman, it's gonna be miscommunication. The relationship's not gonna work, period. Because the man is built to lead.
I definitely agree with that. And and you shouldn't look, and I hate to say it like this, you shouldn't look for somebody else to fulfill you, but he's never going to give you what you need if he can't be vulnerable with you.
True.
Period. He's never going to give you what you need. You're always going to feel like something's missing. Nobody's perfect. And not to say that like every person's going to have every quality you need, check off all 100 of your boxes, but you handle it differently when you have that vulnerable door open.
But ain't so many situations where a man is vulnerable. That's the sad part. And women, my man is vulnerable. No, I see a lot of situations where women like yell at man and curse at man. I know damn well that man is not vulnerable to them. The way I hear some women talk to the man, and I hear that, I'm like, he's lost. She's lost him, or he lost her. There's no connection. I see that every day, especially when I'm at work. When I hear "fuck you, you ain't this," the man's not being vulnerable. Anytime there's an argument, whatever, like verbal jabs going back and forth. It's impossible, especially for a man to be vulnerable to a woman because he doesn't want to hear a woman's mouth, or even vice versa. A woman who's usually vulnerable and they have a man that's very verbally abusive, she's not going to open up as more because she don't want him to hear him because he's sensitive as fuck.
Yeah.
The sensitive bitch man that out here tonight, out here in this world, not leading. We don't have too many of those leaders out here because they're too busy being little mamas, as they call them.
Not little mamas. Whoa.
So, that is true. I hate to take it, but real quick, and this leads over, and I know it's gonna be quick because we talk about being judgmental.
I have a lot of notes on this topic.
Judgmental.
I have more.
Why are people so damn judgmental? And I used to probably judge. I've learned that some people who I thought who they were are not really who they are. You gotta really get to know people and like learn them.
Yeah.
To like figure out who they are. They go tell you who they are. You ain't gotta judge. Let people tell you who they are.
Let them show who they are. So look, people who are judgmental and make judgmental statements and things like that, they are trying to justify their shortcomings. That's what I think personally. Like
shortcomings of security.
We did it again.
Their shortcomings and insecurities.
Yes, they're trying to justify their shortcomings and insecurities. Like, so to hide mine and deflect, I'm going to focus on something that I think could be a negative about you.
This makes me think about some past conversations I had where I think people took a little jab at me. I'm like, real.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. We all have this connection with the Most High. And if you want the connection with the Most High, you can have it. People choose what they have it. I got faith. So here's the thing. You gotta, when you see people in situations that you particularly don't go for, you can't be judgmental. I ain't lie. When I see a woman with like all these kids, whatever, I don't give a fuck how many baby daddies it is. It's a lot of kids. You gotta kind of like search and see how she represents herself, right? So you're like, damn, 4 kids. Like, I've met women with 4 kids that thought they shit this thing and had a lot of mouth. Like, you go fuck yourself. I have women with 4 kids that present themselves very professional, have a relationship with God, just carry themselves differently because we all make mistakes. You know, so you let people judge themselves. That's how I do it. You let people judge. They're gonna let you know who they are. They're gonna judge their own self.
Yeah. So I saw this term. It was called judgmental narcissist. So like you got the term judgmental, and then there's like a real thing called judgmental narcissism. And I'm like, this is actually crazy. So what they do is they justify that criticism as the truth. Just because you said it doesn't make it true. But they will stand 10 toes down that what they're saying is valid, is 100%, is correct, is accurate, and you can't tell them no different. That's a narcissistic trait.
Yeah, it is. I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah.
It's very narcissistic. But people that like, so this is like, I see some internet, right? And I love the internet because I surf. I be in these groups and I be like looking at shit, right? And I see people comments like, if you got more, I don't want to date. You gotta, if you don't have no kids, you got a right to not date nobody with kids. Yeah, if you got kids, you got a right to not date nobody with kids. However, your choice is your choice, right? But I think when you make decisions like that, you don't know what your blessings are. And that's when it comes to a spiritual thing because you just never know who God might have for you. You can't sit up here and tell me that God got somebody with no kids for me. I know that. And you'll be sitting waiting unless you talk to him and you pray. You know what's going on. You know who God is throwing your life. God might throw the person in your life that has every freaking quality you want to make you happy, and he might have 2 kids. And you might be like, no, I don't want those 2 kids. Here's the thing. Nobody on the planet Earth is perfect.
Yeah.
We all had our flaws, and you know what I'm saying? We all had our shortcomings and whatever we had to go with in life. The thing is, when God puts somebody in your life that is down for you and everything, you can't just look the other way. I'm like, well, I want this. I want.
A lot of people do that though. A lot of men do that. Hey,
man.
Yes. Did I tell you my theory?
What is your theory? Because I was talking about women. But,
no, but men are guilty of this as well. But here's my theory. I feel like my soulmate, the very perfect person for me, he's probably like some famous dog trainer. So I'm throwing my blessing away because this man got a dog. I'm not talking to you. Like, okay, so this is honest. You know how like you make a dating profile on like Bumble or something? Yeah. Like I put you can't have dogs. Like, and men who are dog lovers, like they love me. And I ask their picture if they got a dog in their profile picture.
Oh, you really limit yourself like that. Yeah, exactly. But you know what? I don't have issue with people with dogs. But I ain't the type of person one dog that's getting to bed and shit like that. Here's the thing, I don't have time for a dog. So I work a lot. I'm not cleaning up no shit. I got kids. I'm not trying to be there and like, oh
no.
This shit.
No, but honestly, you're not doing it. But no, honestly, the point was, like you said, I agree with your statement. Like you keep be bypassing your blessing off of one thing. Like he may have 7 baby mamas, but that could be my blessing. Or she may have, only 4 toes, and that could be your blessing.
I don't like that 4 toes thing.
I know, that's why I said it.
I ain't rubbing your feet like I can put my 5 fingers between your toes. You got fucking 4 toes. What the fuck I'm supposed to do this? Like, I'm not doing that.
I don't like the image of that.
No, that's gross. Like but all seriously though, because you never know. Like, it's like for me, for example, I like using myself as an example.
Go for it.
Because people look like, oh, they're different baby mamas. Oh man, you got that. But here's the deal, my man. I take care of my business. But I wish I could like fake my death with the credit cards because I'd be living like I sell drugs. I'd really be living.
You being an ex
man, I'll be out there and pushing that big Range Rover. But and my situation, like anybody, not even just me, anybody example with kids. Whether it's 1, 2, 3, or however many kids, are they a father? Do they lead spiritually? Because I pray with my daughters. My daughters may come over. It's prayer time. We pray. My oldest, I let her lead in prayer. Sometimes she forget. I don't know if she prays at home all the time. But I let her lead in prayer. And my 3-year-old just decides to snore and goes to sleep. She doesn't care about that yet. I'm going to get her going though. But like how you lead, like if you're a praying man, are you working hard? Like how you making ends meet? Like what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? You got a good job, good career. You hustling, you working, you making time. Like I am like, I'm an example of that. I'm gonna be honest, and this might sound cocky. In my situation, a lot of men with no fucking kids ain't doing what the fuck I'm doing. 1 kid, no kids. I go out there, I bust my ass because the grind is real for me.
Yeah.
And what's going on. Because God has a plan for me and I'm following his blueprint.
Yeah.
A lot of people it's very few men out there that has the mentality that I have. And I don't give a damn if you got 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 kids, whatever. Real men, real kings have some similarity. They think alike.
Yeah.
And I dealt with my brothers in Vegas like that. A lot of them think alike.
Salute to the kings out there.
Salute to the kings out there. And the men that act like queens. Stay at home and eat your beans. I won't be disrespectful right now. Men out there that can't be women or act so sensitive. And society is like y'all wear leggings and fucking fanny purses and shit like that. Y'all are the biggest bitches to me out there. I'm gonna just be real. I can't stand a man to act like a bitch. I can't stand a man to act so sensitive. It is 2023. It's time for you motherfuckers to step up and lead because society is coming down on us and they're coming down hard, especially on women, because women, they think they're shining with their degrees and all this shit that they have, but it's going to take, hold on. Listen. I'm listening. Because when shit hits the fan, these CEOs go crush down these women and kick you out the fucking door because you're being controlled. all of what self-worth is the best way to go. Self-worth is the best way to go. But a man can't provide and teach a woman, or a woman can't teach him to grow with self-worth and being a sensitive little bitch. Women, please don't belittle men that are there for you and to try to connect with you. Don't belittle them, because those are the men you should listen to. Stop taking care of fucking men that act like bitches that don't have jobs and lived off you, because society's changing roles. Men to wear your panties. I wish you would see that as a red flag and fucking leave, because I don't fucking care about this shit they pushing, this movement they pushing. Fuck all that. You need to reproduce, get your man and reproduce, increase population. They might cut this shit off because they always trying to push the population shit. Let me tell you something. Women, get you a man that appreciates you. If you want kids, like make them vulnerable, baby, and just make babies from the sideways, back, from the front to the side. Giddy up. Hey, it sounds so vulgar, but it is so true. Like, for real. Like, man, I salute to my kings, to the fucking kings out there that turns little queens and dress like little bitches. You know, hopefully you find your way. If you don't, what the fuck ever.
And I think that's the end of the show.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Kings, continue with your briefs. Little princesses, I don't know what the fuck to say about you. Salute to all the queens out there, you know what I'm saying? Salute to all your queens and everything. So this is why I'm there for y'all.
Stay on your grind.
All right, peace out, y'all.